Here's a short little tutorial on point groups. If you open up the template for the survey department, you're going to get a template that already has a bunch of point groups in it. You may not want to use those point groups, or you may want to go ahead and create and modify them as you go along. So I'm going to show you a couple different things. I'm going to go ahead and import some points from a file. So I'm just going to grab one just to show you. And I'm sure you already know how to do the PNEZD, but I always usually add it to a file with the date. And let's say it's today's date. And then I go, okay, this is just to manage it. Forced point groups, some of them have the same type. I go, okay, for the duplicate points, and add an offset to any points that need to be added to. So when it comes in, you can see you've already got point groups. Now, what you'll want to do is, if you're using the template and the template has the point groups already set up in it, go ahead and say update, and what'll happen, it'll get the points that are already in the file set up in their proper groups. So you can see now that in the fence there is point group or points in that group. You can see the irrigation control box already has points in the group. No display has every point in the group, and that means if the no display is at the top of this point group list, nothing shows, okay? And all points is always in there. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom to my points, and you can see them. Now, the order, if I right click, and maybe you already know this, so if you go properties, this is the order that the point groups are in range to the importance. If I shift this no display all the way up to the top, I'll be able to turn off all of the points. They're still there, but you just can't see them. Now, if I right click and go properties, the no display is controlled by this include, includes all points, okay? Now, I'm going to right click properties groups. I'm going to send it all the way down to the bottom. Apply and OK. The other thing is, notice the point group that we just made. If I go properties and I go to include, it includes all the points with the numbers. That's how it's insert into the beginning. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to look at the, let's say I want to create a new group. So I'm going to go right click and I'm going to go new. And you can give it a name, like let's say concrete. And here's the thing is, when you look at it, if you look at your point groups, you can come over here and go, okay, concrete is CSL, and it could say concrete. I don't have one, but if they're all CSLs. But what if one of the points said concrete? So your basic point is usually going to be your basic, FHR basic. Your style, maybe I only wanted to say the description, or I only wanted to say, usually we do concrete's elevation only. When I first start out and I'm starting to manage my points, I go survey description only. I include, and I include it with the raw description. The raw description is going to be the description in the point file, this last letters, okay, words, whatever. They're going to be my descriptor, so the CSL, and I go apply and OK. And what it does, it brings the point group concrete to the top. Now the nice thing about the no-show, look at all my points here. If I go properties and I send up the no display, this button makes it go all the way to the top. This button makes it go down one, apply and OK. Then it's only going to show me these, and I'm managing the style by this setting in the properties. Right click on point groups, go properties. I can change that style, and as soon as I say it, I want to get it with elevation with 2 decimal points. I go apply and OK. Then it's only going to show me the elevations. I usually start off with description so I can connect the dots. For example, we'll do another one. They have one for, oops, wrong thing. They have one for sidewalk. Back up, sorry. They have one for sidewalk. So what if I wanted to connect all the sidewalks, or what if I had AP? I can create groups based on that. Now MP is sometimes miscellaneous pavement, and AP is asphalt. And sometimes I'll create a group, and oops, that wasn't it. I'll create a group, right click on group names, go new, and I'll call it pavement or edge of pavement. Some of these we already have lists for, but I want to show you how to create new ones. In the raw descriptions, I can go MP, AP. That means I can add both of those groups in there. And if I go right click on the pavement and I edit those points, you can see both AP and MP are in the groups. Okay. The other way that I can manage these points, if I have to manage them individually, is I can change their style based on this style here. Okay, and say it's an ARV, and I can change the labeling style to A curve inlet. Okay. Now, I don't usually like to do it that way. I like to keep all my style or point groups to get managed through the properties. Doing it this way. Sometimes I know Barry will do this. He'll use the override and force everything. I don't do this that often because I need to manage the style so I can see them. Now you can see that I've listed all the pavement. Again, if you go right click on the groups, you can send the no-show and you can isolate just the pavement so you can see it. And maybe you have to connect the dots to delineate the edge of pavement or an asphalt pavement. Okay, and notice this is a pavement shot here, but look at the style, it has the wrong style. Okay, you can go and pull it down using your properties palettes and say, I'm having a hard time this morning. Default, and do the same thing here and go default and send it back. Okay, the other way you can change them if they have the wrong one is you can right click on this and edit the style this way individually. All right, so if you don't want a group, let's say there's no points for the mast arms, you can right click and you can delete it. Now if I right click and delete the pavement shots or delete the pavement layer, I can delete that and I say yes. Notice it does not delete the points. The reason being, I'm going to regen. It's gone because of the no display. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to send all points to the top, but they're still there. Okay, it was just no display made them look like they were gone. So even if you want to delete a point group, it's not deleting the points themselves. It's just deleting the group of data, not the overall points that are in there. All right. So like I said, a lot of these have already been set up and you still have to modify them because the survey guys use different point name styles or point names in their settings when it gets downloaded from the data collector, so just be aware of that. Okay, or you can start off with a clean drawing and get rid of all the point groups and build them as you want. I usually just leave them in and modify them because you can change the properties to go, okay, I'm going to change that and I'm just going to change it to concrete. And I'm going to include, I'm going to change that, and I'm going to say CSL. And now I've got two concretes. The only reason you're allowed to have two concretes is one is capital and one's lowercase. They can't be the same exactly, but they can have the same name if it has different capitalization versus lowercase. All right. If you've got any more questions, just let me know.